So you guys were I'm hearing a lot of you guys wanted a theme song shortened, so here we go. This girl reviews movies, games, and books. Sometimes she plays them. So does that, and when she does it with the cat, does that make her crazy? Does that make her crazy? Probably. So, it's shorter. There you go. Crazycatlady or Martha Butler does not own any trailers or pictures. I use them under fair use, educational, for education and entertainment purpose. Hi everybody, Martin here. So finally got around to reading the last story, not counting the epilogue, because that one hasn't got a name yet to it yet. So we're still going to call that the next one Epilogue 2. But this one is so far a B7 was a story like some of them who are not scary. Like some parts of it, if you really think about it, if you put like lots of it, thinking about it, that it could be. But I mostly found this one sad because it's about a boy named Billy who watches the stories of the old cartoons, and it's like those aren't cartoons like, and they made it like it sound like an old Barney one where they would ask if or like Door or Blue's Clues where they ask the viewership like questions and stuff like that, and I expect the person who's watching this to respond or get up and dance. So he he's watching Billy's watching this in front of a TV like those little kids do, and his mom and his mom and dad are watching it too. His dad wants to watch sports, of course dads do, but his mom tells him to let him watch it for a little bit longer. You can miss some of your sports games, and he decides. At first, it starts out so innocent because he's 5 years old, and he starts trying to be an animatronic, but it goes ballistic. Basically, he thinks that he should continue acting like an animatronic, and apparently he might have one of those mental disabilities that you keep on disabilities that you keep on acting like something that you're not, basically. And like the therapist says, like there was a kid who thought he was an alien for about a year, and yeah, I can totally see why somebody who reads this or listens to it in my case would think that this is basically the the session to the therapy number. It was an insecurity breach during the recordings. You can totally see why, because there is one session that's completely different from all of them, where the therapist sees somebody else, and this could be Billy that they're seeing, and so because Billy thinks he's an animatronic, he keeps on trying to just be so innocent, and his dad literally wants his son to stop acting like this way, so he ends up getting divorced from his wife, and because his mom ends up trying his best to take care of him up until he's 18, and always celebrates his birthday as Creation Day, and they'd always like celebrate from the day he was 5 years old. So, and his mom ends up committing suicide after because his 18th birthday, and luckily, I don't know how this works because I don't have this kind of job. He didn't have to worry about taking care of himself, but he didn't live for very long anyways to worry about that. But she was like at a financial advisor. I don't know how much money that those type of people make, but and after because basically he was gonna get sent to like some type of environment because he was not hurting anybody, but he kind of was. He was driving both of his parents away, and basically it was no harm against himself, but he was being harmful to everybody else, mentally. So, and I usually, when it comes to this kind of stuff, I usually don't, because I always had to hear that stupid response of that people blaming the video games, blaming the TV show, blaming the books, blaming the media around them. They don't ever try to blame the person that's assuming this. Like there's something wrong with them to begin with. They don't ever blame that person. But Billy, if he realized what his parents were trying to do to make him back to the little boy he was before, then he would not have been a problem. He would have listened to the therapist or the parents. It would have not been the problem. But yeah, do we blame the show or do we ever blame the person or blame the mental disability that they have? So, and because for somebody who has disability and doesn't and tries their best to get rounded and just don't try to live good life, no matter what, I can totally understand how hard that could be. So, yeah. And so, once Billy mom's died, he wants to use the money that he gave him to live, is to use all of it to get on parts to make himself look more robotic. And he tries to go to like regular doctors, but they think that what he wants is insane. His mom told him to tell everybody in the world that not to tell everybody that he's an animatronic. Okay, keep that part a secret. And he wants new limbs, basically. And every time he goes and talks to a doctor about it, they hang up. And so he goes to a guy who is really dirty. It kind of reminds me of all those weird, scary stories where you hear somebody like removing a kidney from you and leaving you in a gutter. That's what this guy reminded me of. But he also had a doctor that would help the person heal. So, but he would because he would take him back to the back room and let the doctor help him heal and help him get physical therapy and stuff like that. So, every time he lost a limb, and he would have to learn how to drive with the new limb. So, yeah, and so he did, and he ends up after he's having all four of his limbs removed. He goes on the computer and tries to talk to somebody who's also trying to change their appearances, and it's a girl who is who has a Hawaiian name. I don't remember how to pronounce her name, but she wants to get plastic surgery instead, and she's had a lot of abusive relationships out there. And at first, she feels sympathy for what he's doing, and eventually, he does drive her away too. I think, she doesn't understand why he's doing this at all, because he tries to put metal plates and looks under his body, and it kind of reminds you of Frankenstein because of all the stitches that they describe. And then he tries to make his eyes be a different color. And she says he looks like a vampire, and I love the word they used here, counterific, like something like that. And, like, yeah, that's perfect. And like he's like waiting for her to say robot, and eventually when she gets removes the ears, she stops coming around. And like he gets his tongue removed and like starts using the computer to write like he's Stephen Hawkins. So yeah, everything about this sounds like a very scary. It scared everybody else but to him. Then one day he realizes what he's doing was not him. He realizes what he was doing was not a good idea. Eventually, like he once she stops coming by, I guess he had a mental crisis and realized that nobody around him wants to be around him. And he realized because he started calling himself B-7 for like a couple of pages, like the book title, like the title of the story. And then he like starts crying, and I can totally understand what somebody thinks this movie Eleanor, because there's a lot of they do mention junkyard here a couple of times, like twice, and he goes back to the junkyard that he passes by. He had a hard time driving afterwards, after all his limbs were removed, and he just walks to the junkyard and goes inside, and apparently the guy who works the junkyard ends up crushing him inside of a station wagon. Yikes. I mean, it's just so sad. The story is just so sad. Yeah, there's parts that are scary mentally, if you think about it. But yeah. And it does mention the Freddy's stuff, but I liked it. I think it was a really good story. But I think I always prefer these sadder ones better than the scary ones. So can't wait for the epilogue. Once I have like time to read it. Hopefully I can get out sometime next week. 'Cause I have most of my both my Gotham Knights story videos already recorded. Just have to get them on the computer. So yeah, and I think I'm almost done with the game anyway. So, and I'm gonna be playing God of War during the meantime while I'm getting the ones that I have already recorded onto the computer, and then so I like so, and I won't. And this is my announcement. I probably won't be here for about 5 days, unless the person I'm living with, and the person that's coming over to help take care of the person I'm living with, puts the videos up here. I probably won't have videos coming up those days I'm gone. So, because I'm not taking my computer with me. I'm going to Disneyland, guys. I will make sure to bring pictures so you guys can see my experience of me at Disneyland. I've been saving it for this trip for ages, and I really hope that the next time I go on a vacation be a lot cheaper and be a lot more sooner than this. It's been a really hard year for me this year, and I really need this after losing a lot of people in my life this year. An animal. I need a break from this life right now. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. You guys have helped me this year by give me something to do this year, and have my community grow. So I can't wait to make some more videos for you guys and entertain you guys some more. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for subscribing and stuff like that. So, bye-bye.